All right, we're gonna continue with the Figma. So we're gonna look into frames. So you can use the frame to put. You can use the frame as a container. So here we are using the frame as a container for this icon and this button. And here we are using the frame to as a container for these icons. And here we are just using the frame for the whole website page. And here we are using the frame for a mobile screen. You can also use the frame to contain other frames. For example, this button and these two buttons, I believe, are frames, and we have nested them inside of the another frame. Using frames, you have the option to sort of like clip. We're not gonna look into it at the moment, but you can use the frame. Using frames allows you to clip content, and it allows you to use auto layout, which is I believe a powerful feature. We'll look into it later. And then we can also add interactions. For example, here we are adding interaction. I think there's a names for this. Is it a prototype? I don't know. So when you click this, it's gonna move to navigate to this screen. So we're gonna check that out later in the course, I believe. All right, so let's get back to it. To add a frame, we just need to select the frame tool, and then if we click it, it will just add a 10 by 10 frame. We can also click and drag over content to create a frame. Wait a minute, I didn't select it. So we can just click and drag to, okay, that's not a frame. So this is a frame. We can click and drag to create a frame. So notice that all the layers, text layer, text and image layers are inside of the frame. It's acting like a container. When we select the frame, it has additional options. For example, clip content. And then I believe there's got to be option for auto layout. Where is it? So I forgot to enable the property labels. So there's an option for auto layout. We're gonna check out that later. So if there's an element outside of a frame, you can just click and drag it to put it inside of the frame. All right, in this lesson, chapter 11, portfolio personalization, they talk about how to make the thing we created more custom, how to make it more personal, how others create it. So to make it more personal, they suggest you to take inspiration from others. So one way to find inspiration is by checking out other people's work, right? So there's a Figma community where you can see other people's designs. For example, if you wanted to look other people's design for portfolio, we can search portfolio. I mistyped it. So even if I mistyped it, there's a result, portfolio templates. So all of this, so you can check them out and see how they approach creating a portfolio. Okay, so they also this to show their portfolio. So how they did it. So this is one of the her one of the one of these two people. She showed one of them's work. So this is it. They chose a logo, and this is hers portfolio. She used a border and big text and with gradients. She used a shape, this shape, and she said it's a sticker or something. So this is another one's portfolio that looks like this: big text and a button, and this empty shape. And then there's this one. Okay, that's pretty much it. So there are different like websites where you can use to take inspiration from. I believe Behance is another one, another website where you can take in. There are a lot of websites. I think there are at least a few websites where you can see other people's designs. Okay, in this lesson, we are trying to create a case study sort of page. So that's looks something like this. So we got a large text and section, and then some paragraphs, an image, and a code. So this is how it looks like. In order to create that, well, we can start out, right? Start creating them using what we already know. But before we start, we need a frame. So there are there's a like a preset for different devices that we can use to start as a starting point. So we can use these phone frames to check out how the design would look on phones, tablet, desktop presentation, all of this. So we will be using the desktop preset. When we click on it, it will create something like this. We can also just rename the frame. We can call this case study. And this one, we're going to call it landing page hero. Okay, so in this chapter, we will be creating this. Also, I forgot to tell you that you can access more settings about types by going to this icon. By clicking this, it will give us more option to format the text. We got alignment, decoration, vertical trim, list style, paragraph spacing, truncate text. So we got a lot of options for these texts. So anyway, we're gonna select the case study and we're gonna create this. So it's pretty easy. Just click on the text and we're gonna call it section title, and you can click out of it and press escape to deselect the thing, and then click again to enter the text again. So when I need to type this, but I'm gonna just take a screenshot and then paste the text. All right, I got the text. So I'm gonna format this type this a little bit. So we want to make this a bold. So we're gonna select wait a minute. We're gonna click out of it. It's now selected, I believe, and we can just select bold, and we're gonna make it 28, and line height. So there's a couple of settings that they suggest you to do. We need to set it to 28 and make the line height 38. So this seems arbitrary, but if you ever learn about typography and UI design, you will know how to set this font size. So these are just to establish hierarchies. I'm gonna just wait a minute. That is not so it just pasted the image. That is not good. I wonder what is happening here. Why is it looking like this? Trying to copy this and pasting. This is very weird. All right, I see the problem. This text is it's just out of the it's just clipping. It's clipping outside of the frame. I'm gonna just select it and then maybe change the font size to something else. So this is, we need to change it to 20 and set it to medium. All right, 20, and need to set it to medium, and then we can then drag it. Just move around it. I'm gonna just add a stroke because I can't seem to see it. It's now overflowing. I'm gonna set it to this auto height, and then we need to add this text. And we can then increase the font size and then make it italic. Maybe bold, bold and italic. I don't know. So either you can follow the tutorial to the T and increase the font size to, we can just, you know, follow them and set the font size to the same thing, or you can just leave it out. So we need to change the width. It's grayed out. Change it to auto white, and then I'm gonna just set it to medium italic. Okay, to wrap it up, we can rename it. So we got we can give it a name, for example, a heading. I don't know what they're calling it. Paragraph maybe. I'm gonna call this quote. So in the appearance, I have changed it to 50 for some reason. Okay, all right. In this chapter, we want to create something like this. So let's get started. So at the top, we need to type large and impactful title text. So large and impactful title text. Title text. Click escape, and then we're gonna make it bigger. Something like that. We can drag around by selecting it, the text, and like this. Also, we can increase the frame size by dragging the edges. So we want to drag this to make a space for some element. We're going to put it on top. Okay, all right. Before we do that, we need to create a rectangle for a placeholder for our image here. So this text is actually 10,000 pixel wide. So this is also 10,000 pixel wide. The height, you can set it to anything. I'm gonna select the frame and then drag it like this, and then we're gonna select this and drag them until we reach the edge. You can press Alt and to see sort of like how much distance that this group of object is from the edge by pressing Alt. So if you hold that, it will create a duplicate. We don't want that. I'm gonna undo it. Okay, now we need to create a sort of placeholder. Okay, we need to make this image a placeholder. So all we need to do is just select it to image placeholder. So whenever we click it, it will immediately open up this panel. Next, we need to make the same thing for this. And there's going to be image behind this text. Well, we can use the rectangle like we did here, and then select the image fill, but we need to use a feature that comes with the frame for auto layout or whatever. So we're gonna make this, we're gonna put the text inside of a frame. Last time we did we selected the frame tool and then drag to create frame. You can also, there's another way. You can select the text object and click frame selection. That will create a frame and put the selection inside of it, and then we can just expand it like this. I dragged the frame until it snaps to the edge of the parent frame, but notice that this is not centered. I'm gonna also make this frame have some edge, so I'm gonna just add a stroke so we can see it better. So we need to make this in the center. We can drag the text until we get a line like that, or we can probably use it like this, right? Okay, we just need to change the frame fill to image fill. I'm gonna select the frame and then go to, so there's an option for, where's the option for fill? Selection color. Okay, and select the image. Okay, I use this here alignment option to center it. We can also use constraint to center a object. So we're gonna check that out next. All right, guys, we're gonna look constraints. I have a frame created. So here to demonstrate constraint, I'm gonna just create a shape. Let's just create a circle. Not exactly a circle, but you know what? Let's just create it. Okay. So the constraint has to do with when you constraint has to do with frames, right? So when you select the frame and you move, for example, when you expand it vertically, horizontally, just look at it. This is not moving. Depending on how so constraint makes it move, respond to frames size. So I can make this shape stick to the right side or to the top or to the bottom by changing the constraints. So currently it's stick to the left and top, so that's why it's not moving. It stick to the top and to the left. We can make it stick to the right and top. So just select the shape. So there are a couple of things that makes that you need to be aware to make the constraint work. We're gonna get into it in a bit, but let's just quickly look into it. So it's in the left, so we're gonna make it right, and we're gonna leave it as top. So now if we now change the frame, just look at how it responds. Just like that, we can make it stick to the bottom. So then it moves like this. Just play around with the constraint to get a feel for it. All right, next look at this one. So this one, this is like imagine this is a card, right? It's got an image and some let's say this is a button or a text. So just look at how it responds to the frame. This image occupies all the width and height. Same with this text. So the way I did it is I constrained the frame to left and right, and then I made it stick to the bottom. Same with the text. I made it left and right, and then stick to the bottom. So that's how I was able to achieve this effect. Okay, so there are two things you need to be aware of when you want to, if you're trying to use constraint. So the first one is you can't apply constraint to the top level frames, right? It doesn't even display the settings. And you can't use constraint on let's say select this one, and then as you can see now it says constraints. You can't use constraint on a frame that has auto layouts turned on. So let's look for the auto layout. So in the layout panel, right to the layout, we gotta use auto layout. So when I click it, now the constraint is gone. So the frame changed to auto layout, and this is no longer the same. So the constraints, although the constraints are displayed, it won't work as expected. All right, now we're going to add a constraint to this text. So it will always say in the center whenever we resize the frame. So let's go to this and center it and center it, and then go to the frame. Also, we need to go to the text, and we might want to align it to the frame. So align center and vertical or whatever. So this will align the text to the center of the frame. And now we can drag around the frame and and everything looks fine. The text is now in center. So I'm gonna just select this and align it to the left, and we're gonna look at smart selection, how it allows you to easily play around with the elements by moving around. All right, we need to select everything in the case study frame. So select it and press enter. It will select everything, and then we're gonna just align everything to the center, to the frame, just like this. So this as a we can make it so that it has the same width as everything else, 1000, and we can choose the auto height, and then when we select it again and then we do it, it looks like this. Wait a minute. We're gonna select everything, press enter. So what is causing this? Yep, maybe we need to align it. No. Okay, better. And we're gonna select case study again and press enter to select everything. Then center. That's great. So now everything is centered. We want to distribute the space evenly. So select everything again, and in the position, click on more option, and here we get the option to distribute vertical spacing. When we do that, we get access to smart selection. In the smart selection, we can move the objects to different places. You know what? I'm gonna play the video so that the explanation in the video is much better than what I can provide. So I'm gonna just play the video.
Rearrange our elements apart on when a selection of objects are spaced evenly apart on both the horizontal and vertical axes, you get access to Smart Selection. Smart Selection lets you quickly rearrange and adjust spacing between two or more layers in a selection without having to go through the tedious task of adjusting it manually. You'll know when Smart Selection is available if you hover over the selected elements and you see pink circles and pink handles. If you don't see them, try using Tidy Up in the Position section of the right sidebar to make sure objects are evenly distributed on the vertical and horizontal axes. Click and drag the pink circles to rearrange the objects while maintaining the flow and layout. Select a pink circle and use the keyboard shortcut to duplicate the object and add it to the Smart Selection flow. You can even hold Shift to select multiple layers so you can duplicate and move objects even faster. Hover over the pink handles to see the space between objects. Then click and drag the pink handles to increase or decrease the space between. You can also use the space between fields in the layout section of the right sidebar to enter in a value. Smart Selection.
Alright, so that's pretty much it. I'm gonna stop here and continue in the next video.